Let me.
Where are you reading about it?
Yeah, could you link something so I can read it quick?
No, the Wikipedia. I'm reading like the original release on Wikipedia. Content.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue collaboration coming to Girls Frontline. Shut up.
What are you reading? Where did you get this?
I'm on Silicon Era.
Okay, I even forgot Girls Frontline was a thing.
Same here. But both of those fighting games have girls with guns, so...
That makes sense.
Might as well add more girls with guns.
I am firmly in support of this.
You would be.
Felt is the literal waifu, so...
What is Tea Time playing right now?
He's playing something on stream?
He's in Games 1.
Oh, I don't know.
He could stream for us.
He's probably...
yeah, hijack his friend server.
Yeah, you just jump in and be like, Tea Time, come with us.
There's no time. There's nothing to explain. Is he playing Warframe? No.
I don't know. Let's see. What does it say?
Rust? No. I'm looking
Tea
at
Time is not listed on his thing.
He's currently playing Civ 5.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, he can't quite leave from that.
I mean, that's like a perfect streaming game. Or a perfect podcast game. But
he's already got a group of people in there, so...
Yeah. Basically, we'd have to rehost this game, have him not transmit his audio channel, and supplement ours.
No, we bum rush his channel. That's what I'm saying.
Ah, okay.
Bum rush the show.
No, here's the thing. It's beautiful. He doesn't have to rehost anything. We just go and have the podcast on his channel. With his friends in the room, just like show up and start having the podcast.
So I actually show up in the Discord channel and just go, hey, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, just don't even don't even mention what we're doing. Just launch right into the podcast. And then be like, thanks for streaming, Tea Time.
Okay.
How many Vampire Hunter based Diablo likes are there?
I can think about at least 4. There was Van Helsing Adventures Up. There was the Van Helsing sort of shooter game, which was unrelated.
Unrelated?
Unrelated. It was just they're using it as like an open, like a Creative Commons thing. It was a different Van Helsing game. There's Grim, which is kind of like a lot of undead. It's practically Warhammer. And it's also like Diablo. Probably a few others. There's this thing. Remember, seizures. No Russian.
No Russian. I remember when that was a big deal.
It was.
Yeah, we
for a bit.
About it.
Yep.
Because that was the time where we were doing the first podcast, actually.
Season 1.
Season 1. We back in the good old days.
When I was still just trolling.
When was the last time we had a good scare like that? Like, oh my god, this game has this.
Didn't we have it earlier this year?
No, it was Postal.
Yeah.
What?
Postal. Not Postal. What was the one? What was the one with
Hatred.
the fucking weird...
Hatred.
Yeah.
We talked about that one on the podcast too, like 2 seasons ago.
Same thing.
That was the last big scare.
No, I think we had something. I think we had something more recent than that. All right. Hello, everybody. Brennan here, and welcome to episode 8 of the VGZ podcast, season 4. A season to remember.
For all this energy that we have.
Yes. And I'm joined this evening by the ever illustrious Mr. Cali.
Welcome to Zomboca.
Welcome.
Welcome to Zomboca. All dreams come true at Zomboca.
And also joined by Mr. DrChibi.
Hello.
Who is actually streaming for us this evening, so thank you.
Yeah. So if I cuss a lot under my breath, you know why.
Okay. And Mr. Rook has also joined us this evening.
Mr. Rook is my father. You can just call me Rook.
All right, let's get right into it, as we are running a little bit late today, but we have a lot to talk about. So what's everybody been up to, playing-wise, video games? I'll just go top to bottom. Cali.
I like to go.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Implying Cali likes being the top.
Look, I've thought about it.
Just
and
video
I'm-
games.
I'm a
Kelly.
top.
Just the video games.
I've been getting mad at Crypt of the Necrodancer again.
Oh.
It's still good, and Daft Punk is probably the best music to use as custom music for that game, I've discovered.
I don't know. There is that Mega Man pack for it. That's pretty neat.
Oh, is that like I haven't downloaded any mod packs.
It's a total conversion and makes all the enemies robot masters, and it changes the music.
Oh, God. But, okay, no, the whole thing with that is that, like, all the enemies have their own distinct attack patterns and movement patterns and things they will do to you, and changing them all suddenly will fuck me up so much. So I don't want to do that.
It's not all
That
about
won't be
you.
any difference.
It is all about me, alright?
Oh,
It's a single player game except for when you're doing co-op. Anyway, okay, so Zone 4 was not a thing in the early access version, and this is the first time I'm putting good time into it since then. So I'm learning I'm learning new enemies, like this knight skeleton that, like, you have to hit him, move out of the way when he does his riposte, and then hit him again. But he moves 2 spaces, so you have to move specifically out of the way, otherwise you won't be able to hit him again. Anyway, it's a good game. It's just it's a roguelite and it's frustrating, as they all are. I basically gave up on Solitarica because of that. I mean, I beat it. I beat it on all the decks on normal, so whatever.
I actually finally started playing it after the last podcast, and I actually enjoy it quite a bit. It is a fun game.
Yes, it's just
Frustrating. But fun.
Yes, it's the attacks are random, you know. So it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna keep doing 4 damage to you over and over and over again, and there's not much you can do about it. And also I just started Hollow Knight again because I wanted to see all the DLC now that all of it is finally out.
Fun.
I had gotten True Ending on that before, but there's so much more content. Apparently there is another True Ending now, so we'll see.
the truer ending.
Basically.
The truest ending.
Right on.
I guess that's me. Yeah.
Chibi.
Yes, hello. Monster Hunter, that cool little event ends next Wednesday or Thursday, so gotta grind them tickets. Also, Deadpool's not here, so I gotta be the one to say it. Hey, it's Sergeant Slaughter. Sorry. Warframe just dropped their Fortuna update, so the entire world of Venus has gone from like 3-4 map points to having this giant open world, and you can fish, you can hunt.
You can
There's
skate.
this whole yeah, you can skate, you can do all kinds of things. They've likened it to SSX Tricky, but the controls are more like the old Tony Hawk's. There's like that weird floatiness and sort of like responses from like the grind points and stuff.
Man, you're gonna make me actually play this game, aren't you? You're gonna make me actually put time into this goddamn game.
Look, all we're saying is what it is. If you end up liking that, that's on you, okay? Like, even the devs understand that
all this shit is like 20 hours in, though. You know.
We're saying
it's no. Well, this one's a little sooner, but the whole game is this weird, like, wonderful little mess. Even the devs go, yeah, we know it's kind of like this big jumble, and we need people to help people, like, you know, on board, because we're still not sure how to do it. Like, they built a game, and then they built another game, and then they built another game on top of that.
Yeah,
and
the beginning hours of that game are still the exact same game that they put out 10 years ago. But there's so much more cool shit in that game now.
There is. You just got to get to it, and you got to have someone help. Like, this is a game that really needs, like, friends, clan members, people who understand things, who can, like, slowly peel the onion for you and show you each new layer as you go. Because if you try to take it all at once, you end up like Jeff Gerstmann. He likes Warframe. He just has no freaking idea what he's supposed to be doing at any given time, because it's also like just impenetrable.
All right. Moving on from that, anything else you've been playing, or has it just been Warframe?
I haven't had much time, so it's pretty much just been Warframe. I'm sure there's other things I'm forgetting, but yeah.
Okay.
Just that.
Rook, have you been playing any video games or any
Video
games?
games? No.
Okay.
A lot of time taken up by tabletop gaming right now.
What you up to in that?
I've just been introduced to Frostgrave, which is very, very cool. It's been out for a while, and I'm kind of late to the party. It's an Osprey game that is supposed to be like you play a wizard and an apprentice, and you have a team of hired guns, basically, that you go into this ancient, magically frozen city and try and steal treasure. There's more to it. There's mission modifiers and different kind of terrain and scenario things. It's a head-to-head 2-player game.
This is a miniature game.
It's a miniatures game, yep.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's minis agnostic, so unlike 40K or Infinity or anything like that, where you'd have to buy the company's minis to play, this one you just bring whatever you have. The demo game I played, dude had a line of Fellowship of the Ring minis that I used. I played Gandalf and Radgast, and I had like Frodo and all that shit.
I can use my Link amiibos.
You can, absolutely.
Monster.
There are so many now.
I know.
And that has inspired us to start a huge terrain building project. So, lots of scenery items being constructed, and yeah, it's taken up a lot of my time. Tanks of the Modern Age dropped last week. I might have talked about Tanks Once Upon a Time here. That was a World War II game. It was basically World of Tanks, but
just in miniature form.
A miniatures game, yep. This is that, but has been advanced to the theoretical World War III scenario illustrated in the book by the name of Team Yankee. So it's supposed to be the Cold War breaks out in all-out war between East and West Germany. The U.S., the British, the French, and the West Germans are all fighting against the East Germans and the rest of the Soviet Union. So it's cool. There's a lot of new stuff, a lot of cool models, a lot of modern stuff that just didn't exist before. So yeah, I'll be playing a lot of that.
Cool. Oh, that's sweet. As for me, more Red Dead 2. Can't be tired of being a cowboy. I've been, as I've sort of alluded to over the last 3 podcasts, I've been slowly sipping it like a fine, whiskey instead of chugging it down like a beer. It's been great. I actually just made a major plot point breakthrough today. Actually, I played for about 4 or 5 hours just today, and it is still as magical as it was when I first started it. So I just had the gone away moment in the game, so that was pretty sweet. There's a sequence
like that Offspring song.
No. God damn it, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Was it gone? I thought it was Gone Away. Did I miss actually speak?
No, that's right.
Yeah, so in the first game there's that sequence where the song Gone Away starts playing. I just had that. There is a sequence like that in Red Dead 2. It's not much of a spoiler because it's sort of it's Red Dead.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, so
what?
No, I
sarcasm?
No, I still haven't played Red Dead 1, so.
Oh, okay. So there's a sequence. Okay. Well, there's a sequence in Red Dead 1 where you're riding your horse pretty somberly. It's a pretty somber moment, and then this song starts playing. That if you don't tear up a little bit just because of all the shit that in the first game John Marston has been through up till that point, you're probably not a person. No, fuck.
Sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, fuck you, hyperbole. Yeah, the one in the piece of Mexico. Yeah. In the second game, there is a sequence similar to that, which I will not spoil in any way, shape, or form. But you are as Arthur. I guess that is a spoiler of a sense. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure. But you are Arthur, and you're riding. And if you use the cinematic camera, which is a big feature of the game, it just starts playing a song, which is definitely very reminiscent of that sequence in a good way. I'm okay with them doing that. Anyways, so I've been playing a lot of that, or as much as I can at least. I've been trying to sip it instead of chug it, and I'm trying to get through the campaign totally instead of fucking around like crazy before doing that part. Just kind of how I play these games. Also, lots of Magic Arena. The Pro Tour was this weekend, so lots of fun stuff with that.
Have you
they
gone to
actually-
any locals or regionals lately at all?
for Magic?
Yeah.
No, I haven't played physical Magic in about 6 months.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if
Regionals
you were
was this past
still
weekend.
in there or not.
No, I've been out of competitive Magic for 9 months now. It's actually almost been 12 months, probably about this time last year, honestly. I just haven't really had the drive to do the competitive. It was definitely a grind. I've kind of fallen off of that.
Yeah. No,
but
I got
apparently-
there. I got there with Pokemon. I feel you.
Yeah, I know. I remember you talking about Pokemon with that. But as a topic of discussion, I won't actually get into deeply because there's nothing really much to talk about. But apparently, Wizards is announcing something about competitive MTG Arena come December 6th at the Game Awards, which I thought was very weird.
Do you think it'll be like an actual online league?
I have a feeling they're going to announce a digital pro tour of some variety because they haven't announced. They've announced that next year there is going to be 6 pro tours, which is actually 2 more than they've previously had. 2 pro tour events. Usually they have Grand Prix, which are almost every weekend, and then they have pro tour events, which you have to qualify for, and this and the other thing. They haven't announced any details about the pro tours format for next year. So I have this slight feeling they might be announcing that they're switching to Arena for it or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious to see what happens.
Didn't they also mention that this next Masters block is the last of the Masters?
Yes, the newest Master set that comes out. They announced it this week. Actually, it was earlier this week. They announced the new Masters, Ultimate Masters. They said it's the last time they're going to be doing a Master set for some time, at least in the current form, is how they framed it.
Weird.
That's a whole different topic of discussion that I'd rather not talk about on a podcast. At least not a
But
video game podcast.
who knows? It might be related. The big announcement.
I don't think it will be, just because it comes out that day.
I mean, if
That
it's on the
actually
Game
comes out.
Awards, we'll have to talk about it.
Well, yeah, but we'll talk about it when it comes to that. I don't think it's going to be related to that Master set, though. The Master set is sort of a little different. I think this is more towards like the Master set is a limited collector's item that will sell, and that'll be it. But it's not related to Arena because it's not going to be released on Arena. Yeah. Other than that, I've been playing Soltarica. How do you pronounce that?
Solitarica.
Solitarica. I've been playing that. That's been fun. And I've also been playing Pokemon Go, but I'll let Cali have his Pokemon Go minute later. But for now, let's get into what's coming out this week. Lots of games coming out this week. It's actually one of the big release weeks this week in November.
Well, with all these people dodging Red Dead.
Yeah, I mean, everybody moved their release dates from Red Dead, which was a good idea. Oh, that's not a topic we have in our topics of discussion, but they did release the numbers were something insane, like the $87 million over the first 3 days or something like that. I think was the mark they hit.
I thought it was 800
Or yeah, sorry, I dropped
Yeah.
a zero.
I was like, what the?
My bad. Like almost $1 billion in sales the first week. Like it's pretty insane. But stuff that will probably not sell in that range this week. The actual releases of things like Hitman 2, the gold edition or whatever the fuck it was called, was released on Friday. The actual game is being released on Tuesday, along with Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which comes out on the 13th.
There's a
favorite
decent
game.
amount of people excited for that, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's if it's got the same level of treatment and attention to detail that the Crash remake was, I think that bodes well for a game like that.
Yeah, it seems like they're putting some real money on it, so
That's
nice.
pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty sweet. Also coming out this week is Fallout 76. Although since our last podcast, Bethesda has come out and said, "No, we promise everything will be fine. It's all good. Don't worry about it, my dudes."
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
I mean, the problem is there's still the core problem of the game not having anything to like the game of it being like boring.
So it's
like-
Sea of Thieves, but Fallout.
Yeah, it's like Fallout Sea of Thieves. There's no missions. There's no people to interact with. There are missions, but there's no people to interact with, so the missions are given by robots and shit. Like,
yeah, I've been watching Oxhorn, who does like lore videos and stuff,
Hmm.
And he's got a lot of content to go over, and more variation in like what you can do and can't do in that game than I really thought. He's really picking good stuff to focus on. And if you haven't checked out his stuff, I recommend it.
I
Like
have
one
not.
of the coolest features that I saw was you can visit this Civil War fort that was like reconstructed, and you and up to like I don't know 7 or 8 other people can have a reenactment battle with 2 different sides, and they supplement you with like a shit ton of robots. So
Neat.
there's stuff.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I think we talked about it previously. Why Fallout 76 is like kind of a weird idea, and the betas haven't really given a lot of. Like, I think the beta is proof to a lot of people that it was definitely not the best. I hope maybe we come back to this in 6 months and we're wrong in that it's not like just kind of devoid of goodness.
I think the problem with 76 that a lot of people are
It's
having
empty of human personality.
Yeah, the Fallout games are crafted lore-filled worlds to explore, and this is just like a playground instead of like a place with lore for the most part.
And also you pretty much have to interact with people. Like
yeah,
actual
yes,
people
and
instead
also
of
it's
NPCs.
multiplayer.
Yeah, it's also
the worst thing
multiplayer.
of all.
Not what I'm looking
I'm going to
for.
recommend that if you haven't checked out the Oxhorn videos of Fallout 76, that you give them a try and just
I'll give it a try.
See what you can make out of the stories he's able to uncover there.
I'll have to ask you to link it because I'll have to take a look.
Yeah.
Also coming out this week, the Battlefield 5 Deluxe Edition, which once again, as I was saying, the similar to Hitman, they released it last week as part of EA Origins thing, Platinum Origin or whatever the fuck it's called.
Isn't it still EA All Access?
No, I think that's the Xbox exclusive one. If you do the EA All Access on Xbox, you only got a 10-hour trial of it or whatever. Whereas on the PC version, if you have Origin Gold or whatever the fuck it's called, the Origin Gold Pass, you got it basically as part of paying that. Yeah, it's a mess. That whole thing is a mess. But
there's
even
too
more
many
of a mess
services.
The deluxe edition comes out on the 15th. So it comes out on Thursday. But then next week is when the game actually comes out for normal people if you don't want to spend the extra money. So,
yeah,
get fucked if you like that game and don't want to spend money. In less exciting, less hateful news, on Friday, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee comes out, which I'm actually pretty excited for.
What do you see in that game? Because all I see is a lackluster Pokemon game.
I see being able to play. I don't know. It looks like a lot of fun to me, and I could use a good feel-good Pokemon experience.
How dare you have fun?
I know, right? I'm a bastard. What can I say? No, I'm excited to play it. I think it'll be fun. I know it's not your traditional Pokemon game, but I like how Nintendo makes Pokemon games. I like how they turn out.
But they're going to make a better one very soon. That's what.
Sure, and I'm going to buy and play that one when it comes out. I just like everything that's related to those games. I played both Sun Moon and Ultra Sun Moon. Specifically the Moon.
Whoa.
I played both.
We
even
got
though they're
real
both basically
gamer
the same
here.
fucking game.
I know. Yeah, no. It's just Ultra Moon has more stuffed.
Yeah,
That's
it has more stuff, but I played through both of them all the way through. So I look forward to doing the same thing with this one. I don't know. I just enjoy the games. I think even though the throw mechanics kind of weird, all that sort of stuff. I have Detective Pikachu, yet to actually turn it on. I have the stupid big ass amiibo too, and I just forgot to. I've neglected my 3DS. It's been a long time since I've sat down with my 3DS actually. So that's
kind of not what you're supposed to do.
I know it's sort of the opposite of it, but I don't know. There's a lot of games out there, my dudes. speaking of another game that comes out on the same day, which I'm going to end up buying, even though I already own it on PC, is Civilization 6. Just because I love Civilization, and I think it'd be fun to play it on a console.
I just hope
I don't
the version they're putting out isn't like horribly feature stripped. I don't know.
Oh, well, don't worry about it, because it isn't.
Okay.
It is horribly featured.
Sweet.
It doesn't have multiplayer. Online multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't have online multiplayer. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, it's 2K, make it a Switch game, so I always think it's going to be a little odd.
It's about
I
what
don't
you
know.
expect from a Switch version of Civilization. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that's probably about what I'm saying. Yeah, actually. Thanks for summing it up in a short little
That's what
little
I'm
thing
here
for me. I mean, Civ 6 is great. And to see Civ 6 on a Nintendo console is funny to me.
Can you at least like get like 6 people together locally? Or
Yeah,
something
you can
like that?
cooperate. You can play on a wireless LAN. So I imagine what they were trying to envision there, which I think is actually a cool idea, is, you get like a couple, you get like 4 people up, together for like a Saturday, and you play for like 5 or 6 hours, like a game, like you would a game of Risk.
You and your 7 attractive friends meet on the rooftop somewhere in the middle of the city. And
Yeah.
You all pull out your switches.
Yeah,
and-
You get high and
exactly.
play
You all pull out
Civ.
your switches and you play Civ. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Mhm.
No, I think it's a fine concept. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that idea. I don't think it'll
Except
sell well.
A
but-
lot of people won't be able to do that.
Oh, I know. It's probably not going to sell very well.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee it that it's not going to sell well. But I still think it's interesting to see. Another interesting thing to see, and this will be the last game we talk about that's releasing this week before moving on to topics. Who remembers Hellgate London?
I do.
I apparently don't.
I've heard of it.
Well, it was a PC Gamer like cover game back in the day. It was on the cover of a magazine because it was going to be it was going to revolutionize gaming. It was the big hyped game of 2006, I think. And then 2006 came and went. Or actually, I think it was 2004 it started out actually showing up. And 2004 came and went. And 2005 came and went. And 2006 came and went. And then finally, in 2007, it was released. Not so much fanfare, though. But if you pre-ordered it, you were eligible to buy a $149 lifetime membership, so you could play it online. Unsurprisingly, the game did not sell very well or do very well. But it's getting a re-release because for some reason it was very popular in Korea. And so much so that they had a free-to-play version of it for a while. And then they kind of killed it. And I guess it's back.
In POG form.
In POG form?
That's right.
No,
That's
not
right.
in POG form. It's on Steam. You can buy it right now. Well, you can't buy it. It'll be unlocked in 3 days on Steam.
But is it the full game, or I heard somewhere that it was going to be a single player experience?
That's what it looks like. If you actually look at the Steam page for it, it says the release date is November 15th, and it says that it is single player. But the only thing that's of interest too is that it does say that Steam is still learning about this game, which is kind of weird. It says that on the Steam thing. Yeah, it actually says that on the Steam page, which is, I think, the first time I've ever seen that. But yeah, it says with the support of many fans, developers are able to offer the latest version of Hellgate London game on Steam. Hellgate London provides a single-player mode with the latest version 2.0 of the Hellgate Tokyo. Game provides single-player optimized scenario contents and premium support items. There's no there's some system requirements. It requires a NVIDIA GeForce 9800. No, that's a 9800.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a card from like 2006.
It's a baked potato.
Sweet.
It's a baked potato compared to most graphics cards nowadays. You're like a laptop from 2012 should have a better graphics card.
Hell yeah. I can play it.
So I don't know if it's actually, I don't know if it's actually going to be a game that releases. Excuse me. I remember the game. I never played it. I do remember reading about it a lot in the magazines because this was the time when video game magazines were still about. In the papers. It was supposed to be the sort of the revolution of first-person / third-person gaming play. And it never lived up to that hype.
Can I read you a tagline from the Steam description?
Sure.
One of the important features of Hellgate's gameplay is its collectible rare item system.
Yes, it was a gun loot fest game.
Yeah, this looks...
Except only 2 of the 6 classes could use guns.
Yes.
Yeah, this trailer, I just see a dude with a sword and, like... Oh, no, he has a laser gun and a saw blade gun. I stand corrected.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. There actually is a post. I just found a post from the developer, Handbitsoft, as of November 8th, so 3 days ago. Heroes, we are happy to introduce Hellgate London single player on Steam. We would like to thank you for your patience. Revival of Hellgate London would have been impossible without your support. We want to provide an easy access to Hellgate London on Steam and bring back memories of the game. Hellgate London Steam version includes several modifications which make it more exciting and interesting for both players holding a, and I quote, DVD title of the Hellgate and those who enjoyed Hellgate Global.
Hell yeah. Bust out that CD key. Let's go.
Bust out that DVD title.
Ooh.
Yeah, apparently there's no there's probably no remastering here. And it isn't the original developer who's re-releasing the game. This is a different company who I think bought the rights to it a while ago. Handbitsoft, which, looking at their publisher page, is their only published title on Steam, which hasn't been released yet.
Sweet.
So, just throwing it out there for those of you who loved to be a Hellgate Londoner. It's coming back, kind of, not really.
I'd be surprised if anyone here had actually played it.
I'm very curious to see what happens because of this. I'm hoping that it ends up on an episode of a game show somewhere, like a giant bomb show or something. I don't know.
Like The Quiet Man?
Yeah, like The Quiet Man, which was their entire fucking weekend from according to that fucking best of video.
Dude.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on to topics. So, I am not the best person to talk to when it comes to Square Enix stuff, but boy, did they have a week end.
There's a lot of shit that happened.
Jesus Christ.
Just in general.
So
do we need to go down the list?
Yeah, we brought up 5 different topics.
Right.
Let's kind of go through it relatively quickly, I think, maybe. First, Square Enix let go Luminous Productions, the development team that was in charge of Final Fantasy 15. Not Final Fantasy 15. Their director, Tabata, was the major sort of focal point on it.
Yes. And he resigned.
Which, I'm sorry.
And he resigned.
And then he resigned.
Yes.
This is a very interesting topic of discussion because they say that caused $33 million of loss. And because of that, all future downloadable content have been canceled.
Except the one they're about to put out with Arden.
Except for the one they're about to put out, which aims
3
for
out
a
of
March
the 4.
2019 release. They originally had been planning to release 4 new DLCs titled The Dawn of the Future in spring of 2019.
The
they were the
Aranea
only-
one got canceled. That's the most upsetting.
Yeah.
She was a badass.
Yeah, I mean, I think sort of as somebody who I played through the original game. I haven't gone back to it, but seeing that is pretty.
The game came out 2 years ago,
Yeah, it did,
and that's
it did
kind
come
of
out-
amazing that they've been supporting it this entire time with all these, like the multiplayer expansion, like all the stupid DLCs, like the crossover with the Mobage. I forgot which one.
Terror
Battle?
Terror something.
Terror
Terror
Battle?
Battle, I think.
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
The Assassin's Creed thing. They've been putting stuff in that game, which is kind of crazy.
Can I interest you in some cup of noodles
Yes.
in this trying time?
The ultimate taste profile.
Yeah, no. Apparently, basically, they just and this is actually the thing I don't get because they don't detail why. But essentially, they say that the loss has been attributed to that group that was working on those projects.
No.
No?
So, yes and no.
Okay.
Here we go.
What was that? Square Enix Legends or something? What did they call it?
The fighting game?
There's a
So the group it was called
Luminous Productions.
Luminous Productions. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
In order to make room for them to be retasked with a completely new AAA title, a new property, as it is rumored, everything they were working on was canceled, and they lost what is like $33 million.
Because of that, they claimed a
So.
$33 million loss.
Yeah, so it's only a retasking. I don't like they canceled all the stuff they were planning to sell, and I think that's what they're counting as the losses.
What's up, Turnip? Yeah, I mean that's what they're saying. They said but also meanwhile, like net sales dropped 15% year on year, and profits were halved year on year. So,
Only they hadn't gotten rid of mud makers like Tomb Raider and Hitman.
yeah, and instead they released great games like The Quiet Man.
I've seen a lot of takes that like they dumped Hitman for The Quiet Man, and I'm like, that's not cause and effect.
I don't think it's directly that no, but
it's just a funny bit, but still, there's a lot of people that take that shit way too seriously. But there's a lot of stuff going on with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 15 is getting a Final Fantasy 14 DLC thing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there, and also like, meanwhile, like let's look at there's Kingdom Hearts 3, right? Like that's coming out at some point, and the Final Fantasy 7 remake that's never coming out.
God, that.
Yeah.
That
that was the thing,
I
right?
feel like that's the actual reason why all this shit is happening.
Maybe.
Why
It's
they're
definitely
bleeding money,
interesting.
apparently.
But meanwhile, in positive news, everybody now we can go play Final Fantasy 13 on the Xbox 360. I mean Xbox One. So yay!
Hell yeah.
everyone's favorite character, like Lightning.
Yes, everyone's favorite character, like Lightning.
It really what it is it just got added to the expanding Xbox backward compatibility library. But at XO they made this big deal. They had the president of Sony come out and like take selfies with people, and I mean not Sony,
Square
Enix, and yeah, they made this whole big thing about it.
Yeah, and also the better version of the game, Final Fantasy 13 too.
And Lightning returns.
Lightning returns. Yay! These are things people wanted, I guess.
Still no FF8.
And
Suck it,
still
Brennan.
no Jet Set Radio Future backwards compatibility.
Where's my Toe Jam and Earl 3 backwards compatibility?
Yeah, right.
No one wants it.
I do. I want an easy way to play that game, goddammit.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to get an Xbox again.
Right.
That's the only way I can do that right now. Like I'm no.
There isn't a PC version? Like at all?
No. It was only on the original Xbox.
Wow.
Yeah.
While that
there's a
game
lot
is
of stuff.
probably terrible, I want to play it. I need to know.
Yeah.
Maybe some secrets are best left buried.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Chibi, check podcast chat.
What's up?
Check podcast chat.
1 second.
So, on top of all that, who remembers Dissidia NT?
I sure wish I didn't.
I bought it, and I think it's still in its packaging. Oh, it was a little crackling. How you sounding now?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Y'all sound fine to me. I don't know.
You know, it sounds fine to us, but I did check in on stream, and it looks like whatever Chibi's piping through is garbled.
Okay, how about now? It was the Discord codec. It was starting to lose connection.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it should be fine now.
Okay. Cool. Hopefully we're good now. We'll
Right.
continue.
All right.
With Dissidia NT, because that's a good thing to continue with. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. Nobody cared about Dissidia NT, and it shows because now it is going free to play.
Oh.
Yay!
It will not include the story mode.
Money.
But
I really just don't like the way that game plays, so yeah.
You could still play it, well, for free now, I guess.
That's a thing I could do.
You need a PlayStation Plus membership to play it, and the free version has characters that are rotating in and out on a weekly basis, just like every other great free-to-play game out there. So, yay!
At the moment, there's no word on Free Edition's Western release.
Correct. It is currently, as it stands, just in Japan. But I would not be surprised if that was going to be coming to the US at some point, just because I'm sure they want to try to make some of that microtransaction money to get their stuff back.
Also, they just added Yuna, who, as you know, is all about fighting. Just loves it.
She was a big fighter in the first game,
That's
right?
all she wanted to do.
All she wanted to do.
That's what Final Fantasy X was about, just kicking everyone's
just
ass.
punching people in the face.
Punching people in the face.
Punching Sin in the dick.
That's what the calm was. Everyone fighting.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Video games.
You know where all these fireflies came from? Yuna murdered a bunch of people.
Jeez. Yeah. So, Square not doing great. Let's talk about another not great group. That was a good segue. Activision. We all love Activision. They're great, right?
Yeah.
Well, Destiny 2 isn't great, according to Activision. In the earnings call from this week, the sales of Destiny 2 Forsaken, which was the big expansion DLC pack thing that they released, have not lived up to expectations. They promised investors a faster content model and new forms of monetization for the game to try to make more money off of the game. Soon.
Very soon.
Very soon, because obviously it is a big problem. As somebody who played all throughout the entirety of Destiny 2 and Destiny 1, I had no interest in going back to Destiny 2. They're trying to give it away for free right now. You can go get a copy, and I actually would say, if you're just interested in a fun sci-fi shooter story, go play it. It's fine. It's serviceable.
Yeah, I have a friend that is like, hey, we should get a game that we can play together. And I'm like, of the shooty games, it seems like I would want to be a Space Wizard more than I'd want to be a Call of Duty man. So,
Yeah, but would you want to be a Space Wizard more than you'd want to be a Spartan?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's okay to be wrong, Cali. That's not a crime yet.
Can Mr. Master Chief shoot future lightning out of his hands?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, can he?
What, like bullets?
Is
that what you're talking about?
Master Chief could shoot lightning out of his hands?
Space, the needles?
Space lightning?
I'm not going to say he can't, but I did do a really deep dive on Halo lore, and let me tell you, that is a fucking rabbit hole.
There's been some novels.
I don't want to know.
No,
I don't want to know.
There's been some books. There's been some stuff.
Okay, great. It's serviceable. Yeah, I know. That's
4 out of 10. It's
4 out of 10. It's serviceable. No, actually, I'm serious. It is actually like from a sci-fi perspective game. Grab 2 buddies and go fire team through Destiny 2 over the course of like 2 weeks. And it's a fun romp. It is. I played the first one. The first one was also fun. It's a fun game, but I'm not going to spend another fucking $60. I refuse to spend another fucking $40 to $60 on Destiny shit because
Especially the weird way they always mess up like tiering their DLC.
They mess up everything.
Yeah, it's always, hey, by the way, you need everything to get to this point, or now we're gating like this, or hey, we now decided that now you only need this, but you have to have this and this, and you have to have it's.
And also the writers are the laziest fucking writers ever. Like literally all the trope, and none of the fill. Like it's just like I know I'm even going against it's serviceable, and that's the best I could say about it because there's a lot of frustrating things about it.
9 out of 10 is shit.
9 out of 10, it's a piece of shit. No, I
canceled my pre-order.
You can't cancel your pre-order if the game's already out.
Fucking challenge accepted.
No, but seriously, if you want to go play it for free, go play it for free. Just don't give fucking Activision any of your money because it's not worth it, and you're telling them that it's worth it, and they really just can't. They just can't get it right, and I feel bad for Bungie because, you know, they did. I don't know. They must have like prayed to the wrong blood god or something. I don't know.
Well, they split off from 343. That was their thing.
Yeah.
They sold their shit to Microsoft, and it was bad.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling that people are saying, "Oh, they're probably going to bring out Destiny 3." I have this feeling that Anthem is going to come out, and there's not going to be a Destiny 3 any longer.
No.
You know what? Anthem is finally the game. I'm like, there's some cool movement shit in this. I hope it's good.
I have no want to play that game, but I know it probably will destroy what little Destiny there is out there, essentially.
I'm expecting a huge fireball that is Anthem because of all that it promises to do is like song as old as time.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm with you on that. I think that's
probably.
I think there's a high probability of that as well.
So yeah.
I played
my
it at
prediction is an implosion.
What?
Sorry, I played it at the E3 EA event. It was fine. Like the floating Anthem.
Yeah.
The floating like flying controls were like they were pretty good. It felt fun, but it also felt like 5 other games I played.
I was gonna say, did it feel like Destiny? Because if it felt like Destiny, it's exactly what I said when I first saw it.
I've never played Destiny, so I can't tell you.
Okay.
I have also never played Destiny, so
I bet you it probably feels exactly like Destiny.
I don't have the jadedness from all these shooters that y'all do. I don't play them ever, so I'm like, no, man, this one's it's fucking Iron Man with space shit. Like this might be the one I actually play for realsies.
Okay. I mean, as I said, Destiny 2 is not a terrible game. It's just also kind of inoffensive.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
I'll probably be busy with the Division 2 at that time. So.
Speaking
knows?
of offensive things,
Oh yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has microtransactions. Who would have guessed?
Just weeks after release.
You know,
After
I'm
Just weeks
impressed
after
it
release.
took them
Now,
this
to
long.
be fair, I think there was always a note that it was going to have microtransactions. That is not the part that people are up in arms about.
No, they're just putting it out without microtransactions, so it gets the reviews, and
Mhm.
that doesn't bog it down at all. And
So-
yeah,
This is, first of all, I'm going to preface this by saying this was a $60 plus game, because if you bought all the fun shit editions you paid like $100 for it.
that's
In
right.
this game, they have added something that is exactly like Fortnite's Battle Pass. It
a
is
free-to-play game, mind you.
a free-to-play game's Battle Pass. It is the same thing. Now, you do not have to pay to participate in the Battle Pass, unlike Fortnite. Fortnite, you do have to pay an initial amount of V-Bucks to get in. Although, if you are good enough and you don't spend on a shit ton of cosmetics, you can actually you could spend it once and then never spend it again, which is what I was doing with Fortnite the first 2 seasons I played Fortnite. But the problem is, as somebody has done the math, it would realistically take a person 8 hours a day from the time it was unlocked, which was apparently October 22nd, until December 11th to earn all of the content in the first season of this Battle Pass.
And by the way, December 11th is when the pass ends. So
Yeah.
you're on a timer to start.
You're on a timer. So instead of doing that, if you'd like, you could spend money. Loads of money.
A lot of frickin' money.
A lot of freaking money. You need to buy, so each to buy all of the tiers, it costs you 19,300 COD bucks. They're actually called COD points, but I'm gonna call them COD bucks. The cheapest
roughly-
way to do that is to buy what I'm assuming is, because I have the British version here, so it's in British pounds, but I'm assuming that it is $100 to buy the 13,000 COD point thing, and then you also have to buy a 5,000 COD point, an 11,000 COD point, and then a 200 COD point thing, which overall is, according to the math on Eurogamer, 130 British pounds. I believe that would be about $150 US.
I'm about to do the conversion right now.
Okay, I don't have their store open. I kind of refuse to open their store. Yeah, you can do it, but you also
$168.56.
Okay, so I'm assuming it's probably going to be $150 if you did the math.
So one Metro Special Edition without the game. Got it.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And if you do all that, you get some really stupid shit along the way, including a gun that looks like a unicorn.
Yep.
Welcome to Fortnite Call of Duty Edition, or Call of Duty Fortnite Edition. Sorry, but yeah, it is actually just after all the reviews hit, so I think that is a pretty shitty thing. I'm real quiet. I can get louder.
No, it's fine. I'm adjusting on my end.
I did move my mic a little away from my mouth because I was trying to stretch out a little bit. It's the thing is as somebody who has bought $60 games and then spent a little bit on microtransactions after the fact, this is fucking just classic Activision. That's all I can really fucking say.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, yeah, it's cosmetic, blah, blah, blah. Man, you used to get this fucking shit for free. Come on. Who are you kidding with this shit?
Back in my day, we put in
Yeah,
codes.
I guess I'm a crotchety old man that fucking plays video games now. I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
Speaking of somebody who has spent money, capital M money, on Overwatch, this sucks. This is exploitative, and the fact that you're putting the shit in a $60 game is absurd.
Yeah. It sucks because it really sucks because this is like like people like us who read about this stuff every day. We're in tune on this, and it's like, okay, I see this, and this is terrible, and I hope people fucking avoid this. But like a game like Call of Duty, there are so many fucking people that buy that game. So many people that buy that game. And there are not people who look at this on a day in, day out basis to go, oh, that's fucked up, man. Like, but I see lots of companies doing this. They're not those type of people. They see, hey, I want to be able to play games with my friends. Oh, hey, I spent $80 on this limited edition game version of the game, and now, oh man, I really want that fucking unicorn skin. How much is that going to cost me? Okay, well, either I can play like 20 hours on the weekends, and then maybe I get close enough where I only have to spend $50 to get the fucking skin. That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, and that's a legitimate like that's a legit hypothetical situation, and that just makes me feel like that's. I'm surprised that video games have not had their fucking third crash at this point, because shit like this should like just make people scream. Like,
so now that we've talked about this, does this make you feel better or worse about the fact that PUBG is selling Suicide Squad, Joker, and Harley skins for about $15 to $17 each?
I didn't have an opinion before, and I'm not going to have one now.
No, give me an answer, Brennan.
You're on the spot.
Oh, I'm on the spot? I think it's shit, and why the fuck would you bring this up?
I just feel like that's worse somehow than this Battle Pass shit. I don't know.
Is it worse because of your opinion and the generalized opinion of Suicide Squad, or...
No,
like,
I think it's like charging that much for any one cosmetic is actually absurd.
I mean, talk to people who play WoW. To be fair,
I don't.
WoW is
yeah, that's the answer.
I make a point not to. Yeah.
I know. I don't either, but I know that it's been a thing in that community for a long time.
Yeah, no, I remember the sparkly unicorn mount for $25. Yeah. I remember. I was there.
Yeah.
Or selling a weird digital camo knife on Call of Duty Go. Or not Call of Counter-Strike, CS:GO.
Yeah, well, that's been a classic. That I think that's shit. I think that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the fact that people are making money off of it is even more ridiculous. But then they're not really making money off of it because a lot of those people opened a shit ton of crates to fucking get there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's scratch tickets.
That's it's basically scratch offs. Yeah.
Are you saying loot boxes are gambling?
Oh no!
Yes, actually,
did the words escape my mouth?
I am saying that, and you know what? We've previously talked about it on this podcast this season. In fact, that a lot of people that are in higher positions of authority than myself agree with the fact that loot boxes are gambling. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something more fun-ish, right? Like let's get off of
this next one is actually kind of exciting for me.
I think it's interesting. I think it's a little dangerous, personally. But Microsoft earlier this year at E3 actually had a big unveiling of a bunch of smaller studios that they had acquired to be part of like the Xbox brand. I forget the companies off the top of my head.
There's an
Ninja
image
Theory,
out there.
Yeah, Ninja Theory was the big one I think that was announced this year.
And Compulsion, who are making We Happy Few.
Yep. So they announced that they're sort of aggressively pursuing that. Well, in Mexico City at Microsoft's X018, I don't know how to pronounce it. They're big, like they essentially took on what Sony didn't do this year with the PlayStation experience and did their own experience event in Mexico City.
With blackjack and hookers.
I'm sorry?
Doing our own event with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, exactly. In Mexico City.
Yeah.
Anyways, Xbox has announced that it acquired 2 companies to continue its roster of studios. The first one is Obsidian. For those of you who are a little hard of hearing, Obsidian, the company that made such great games as Fallout New Vegas,
excellent game,
KOTOR 2.
I don't know about that.
KOTOR 2 is great. I love KOTOR 2. They also made The Stick of Truth, South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Fallout 2.
You're not selling me.
What?
Elder Scrolls
Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah. Well,
That one's actually like the lowest hitting one. The Fallout New Vegas and Knights of the Old Republic 2 are the bigger ones, I think, in my
They've
eyes.
always been considered like the
Oblivion was kind of like a big deal, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Oblivion was pretty good.
Although
Basically,
I consider it like pretty linear compared to the other ones.
as a Western RPG developer, they're definitely out there, which is pretty great. Them being part of Microsoft Studios is cool. Now, one thing I will say is that we've seen this happen before, and then Ensemble Studios doesn't exist anymore.
Mhm.
Ensemble Studios, the great creators of the Age of Empires series.
Halo Wars.
Yeah, well, not so much that, but Age of Empires.
Well, here's what makes that more interesting, though, is
Hmm.
because they're also picking up In Exile,
Yes.
which, if you don't know, is like simultaneously and differently developing the pseudo Fallout properties of Wasteland.
Yes.
Not, I guess you could say that, but they were also an inspiration for Fallout itself.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they didn't. What was it like? Wasn't it that like Wasteland came out of the newer Wastelands came out of like the original Wasteland was the original impetus for Fallout, and then Wasteland
Mhm.
2 and 3 came out way later, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
And there was legal troubles and stuff. I forget, is In Exile formed of some of the old members of BlackRock Studios? Because
A few. It was a lot of the people who made those original games.
right. So what that means is that when they split and half of them went to Obsidian and half of them went in Exile, those people are now being funded by the same people, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get actual Fallout or Wasteland content that will be more like the old Fallout games, which would be really cool.
Wasteland 3 is scheduled to come out next year.
Hmm.
And I'm sure that's probably pretty far along, considering they announced it to come out late next year.
Hmm. I'm thinking of
It was
future projects,
crowdfunded,
though,
too.
not yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the other thing. They're leaning on crowdfunding and stuff.
Yeah,
Right,
Being
well, pretty-
owned by Microsoft means never having to worry about money ever again.
yeah,
Yes.
like if you care about this studio's output, like them having a funding source should be a good thing.
Yeah, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons, and I can afford to be hopeful about this. But I do understand, like, Microsoft likes to change how things work sometimes.
Yes.
But
They
they're,
like to meddle.
I'll say they're nowhere near as bad as, say, an EA, because
No.
a lot of studios
No
do
one's
go
that
for
bad.
like years under them, and they get money and they get support, and
Yeah, like Bungie.
Rare.
Rare
Rare's
still
still
exists.
there, and they're letting them do things. It just
Sea
Rare
of
doesn't have a
Thieves is
direction of its
thing.
own.
Yeah, but the thing was like when Rare got bought into Microsoft, like they were at the pinnacle of their design. Like,
And then they felt like making Viva Pinata, 4 games of them.
Remember
They felt
the
like
Mario
that.
Party style game that they put out for Viva Pinata?
Party Animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Viva
This
Pinata.
this is Rare though.
Yeah,
they
this-
got you guys want to make this? All right, here you go.
I just want Rare to make the video game version of an apology for Perfect Dark Zero. That's all I want.
I
That's
still
a
haven't
lot
played
to
this.
ask.
Oh, it's bad.
Okay.
Big ask.
Maybe I should boot it up. I have the Rare replay. I got it from that Mixpot thing from watching the stream.
Do it.
I
will froth at the mouth.
I own a physical copy of the collection, the Rare Replay collection. But yeah, no, I don't. I think it's good that they are a company that needed a funding source of some variety, both Obsidian and In Exile, and they're getting that, and probably some creative liberties because of that. But at the same time, anytime a smaller company is bought by a bigger company, there's always going to be room for concern.
Mm-hmm.
Because things do happen to companies when they are acquired by companies and such. Anybody who tells you otherwise is lying. So,
No. That's totally in there. That is a risk, but I am hopeful despite it.
sure. No, and I hope for all the best for those people. I hope, especially since both have like stuff currently being produced, that hopefully those games come out and are good. Like, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I saw a clip of the the president, whatever, CEO of NXL, just being like, you know what? It's actually cool that we're part of Microsoft now because now we can afford to do stuff.
Yeah. No, and that's hopefully that's definitely positive. It's the what happens 3 or 4 years from now once they're able to get the projects they're currently done.
Oh, look who's in bed getting ready for job. Hello, Deadpool.
Let's see.
Sorry.
All right, let's move on. We got some quick hits to hit the end of this week, or hit the wrap up the podcast.
Sure.
A bunch of really quick little things. Nintendo. Did you know that people are still watching the Netflix on the Wii?
No.
Yeah, that's perplexing.
Yes.
Well, apparently all original Wii video streaming console services will never work again as of 2019, January 31st, 2019. Not really too exciting, just an interesting thing. It really shouldn't be stunning anyone at this point.
But I'm trying to understand. I mean, is it like what plug are they pulling? Like, wouldn't the system just be like pulling through the internet? Why is it
I don't
a Nintendo thing to shut off?
Probably because there has to be somebody sitting there looking at a server output. You know, just they're probably paying for the bandwidth or whatever to keep
No, I mean,
that thing up.
there's definitely like the app has its own stuff. Its front end is different than Netflix front end.
Yes.
So you have to do constant maintenance and management of that. And
Yeah. I'm
subscribership
assuming
is probably way, way, way down. Because if you have Netflix on the Wii, it's because you have the internet. And if you have the internet, you can just have Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's probably due to the fact that having to support anything related to it is probably not beneficial or cost effective at this point. I'm assuming.
Is the Wii eShop still up?
No, I think it's going away. Yes, I think it is, but I think it is going away soon.
Yeah, they're probably sunsetting all that stuff here. That console is over a decade old now. When did the Wii come out?
12 years.
Yeah, that's a long time to still be supporting those features.
Yeah, no, I agree. Longer than most would have probably, because you can't play the PlayStation 2 online anymore. Fucking, I'm sure the PS3 is probably going to stop having online services in the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's
So
an old console.
Well, they shut off a bunch of PS3 servers just like earlier this year.
you can't go to PlayStation Home anymore.
The Wii is officially 2 consoles ago. Like, you know, this is that thing that happens to every console.
Yep. So moving on to unrelated news. Crackdown 3 will have 2-player co-op. Only 2-player co-op. Originally, they said they were going to have 4-player co-op. Now it's only 2. But
Power of Azure.
it does say that it is cross-play co-op, so you could play with someone on PC if you're playing on the Xbox One, or vice versa.
That multiplayer looks neat. It reminds me of Halo multiplayer in terms of the floatiness of it, but with more like neon lights.
I liked Crackdown 1 way back in the day. It was a really fun sandbox shooter.
I did too.
I don't know why there was such vehement hatred for it, but
Really?
there was. Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, I never heard anything bad.
Online,
it was the second one that people had problems with.
Well, didn't the first one include a demo of Halo 2?
That's
I
how
believe
people
so.
got it, and then
Yeah.
people realized, wait, this is good by itself.
Yeah.
I never played it. I
It was
have
a ton
them.
of fun.
I should play them at some point.
It's like kind of GTA, but you have superpowers. It's kind of like a lot of other games that were coming out
Like
around the
Saints
same
Row.
time, like Prototype and like all that. You
Yeah, like
have
Saints
minor
Row.
superpowers. You're basically a small god, and here's a city.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Oh,
No,
the
I've
prototype
definitely-
was pretty much Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're the police and not the Hulk.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's definitely the problem. I remember it's coming out at a weird time, right? Isn't it coming out right at the same time as like Anthem's coming out and shit?
Yeah.
It's
Something
a
along those
different
lines,
thing,
so-
though.
And like this story mentions, originally it said there would be 4-player co-op. Now it says you can play the campaign solo or with a friend in co-op, where the original promotional material said there was 4 players. I'm not seeing anything confirming that it's specifically 2-player only.
They also
Only
said
that it
all this
fails
shit
to
was going to
mention-
be in the cloud. And,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, the cloud.
this game has
So
been
what
in
it-
development
what it-
for a long time.
What it potentially means is that you can have 2-player local co-op and 4-player online, but that's just a guess.
Maybe.
It's completely in the air right now. Supposedly there's also a multiplayer like arena type mode, or some other stuff that they're planning.
It actually is in the it's in the description on the Microsoft.com website.
Yeah.
It says Xbox Live Online Co-op, and then it has a bracket for 2.
Oh,
It says play the
That's
campaign
pretty
solo or
damning.
with a friend in co-op mode.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that it is 100% going to be just a +1 person. They did not detail anything about the multiplayer, and for some reason, the weird thing is it says Crackdown 3 campaign, so it looks like there's a separate application for the multiplayer.
Look, they can only fit so much
Wrecking
Terry
Zone.
Crews in there.
So,
Okay.
so there's the game itself, and then there's Wrecking Zone, which is an all-new explosive 5v5 multiplayer competition where destruction is the ultimate weapon against friends and allies. Why would you be against friends? Why would you want to be against your friends? I don't get.
yeah. Who would fight someone they
Why,
liked?
why fight your friend?
Because out of anyone, you would know them the most, the best.
Oh.
So out of anyone, you would know how bad they actually are.
I
guess
would
that's
fight
fair.
someone that owed me money, maybe.
Maybe, but then they wouldn't. Would they really be your friend?
Good question.
These are the questions that you have to think about. All right, moving on. Overwatch. So Overwatch, they talked about some stuff at BlizzCon with Overwatch, new character, some other stuff. They didn't talk about the fact that they are releasing a quote-unquote remaster patch. This remaster patch will cause you to have to reinstall the entire game, including re-downloading all assets, etc. They posted this on the forum very recently. It says specifically, hey folks, we wanted to get ahead early and let you know what to expect with our next big patch. We don't currently have release date or time. Next major patch will have some pretty fundamental changes to the game client. A number of back-end changes we're putting in as substantial enough that we can't just patch over the current content efficiently. As a result, when the next patch comes out, the client will fully reinstall itself to handle these changes.
Okay.
So
Yep.
you're going to have to reinstall the entire game when it
Which-
comes out.
It's a big game.
It is not a small game.
It has gotten bigger over time. Yes.
Yes, they claim at least a 15 gigabyte in reinstall. I thought the game took up a little more space than that, but I
I think
haven't.
it's bigger.
I haven't installed Overwatch in a long time. I don't even know if I have it installed in this
Here,
PC.
I'm gonna look.
I'm trying to see if I actually have it installed. I don't think I do. So, if I do, it's on my old game hard drive.
I do, because I log in every time there's a special loot box and then ignore it.
Battle.net. Nope, those are Battle.net installers. Okay, so somebody else can check that, but I mean that's still pretty substantial.
Mhm.
Like really substantial. So just a heads up for those of you who
Yeah,
still
no,
play it.
16 gigs. That's
Yeah, I mean 16 gigs is still a lot of gigs though. I mean if you have a a metered internet connection plan, that's a pretty substantial amount.
If you're
Yeah.
playing it on your phone,
Well,
that might present some problems.
I don't know who plays it on their phone considering they don't have a phone client, but yes.
I want to see someone hack that shit together.
I mean, you can probably play it on. You do it over your your NVIDIA Shield, whatever the fuck. There's this piece of
You
software.
play
that
it on
does
your Microsoft Surface.
Yes. Well, Surface is a computer though. Anyways, so yeah, be ready for that. Speaking of Blizzard, completely unrelated to Blizzard. So everybody got all there's mixed. I guess I'll call it mixed response to WoW Classic, right? Like most people are kind of like, "Yay, it's classic and stuff." Well, anybody remember Lord of the Rings Online?
No.
From Turbine, right?
Yeah, from Turbine.
Yeah, I remember that.
I forgot
Supposedly
that
their,
existed.
their big hook was that while, like, so let's say something like WoW, where something happens to Azeroth, say Brennan Crusade releases, and suddenly entire like large sections are changed for the world.
Mhm.
They had this weird system where it was based on your personal progression. So until you reach certain plateaus, certain parts of the world didn't exist for you.
Mm.
Like things didn't happen until you got there, and then everything switched over.
Mm.
So you wouldn't even know about Pandaren until you hit like whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Until
so-
whatever.
Or
Okay.
ever, as I would prefer.
So the people behind Lord of the Rings Online decided that they too wanted to get on the fun of doing classic servers, so they have released legendary servers. Legendary servers are relive the tales of Middle Earth chapter by chapter, following the complications, adventure, with new friends, blah blah blah. Make a fresh start with a brand new character, blah 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 blah. So you can go back and play the game like it was in the olden days, kind of.
I did not play Lord of the Rings. I just remember it Deadpool.
Basically, the server will start out with only the initial level 50 and below content, with the focus on the Shadows of Agmar story. I don't know what that is. Gradually, the level cap and story content unlocks over time, allowing players to relive the early Lord of the Rings story anew together. So basically, they're like restarting the servers from the get-go and slowly like re-releasing content, essentially.
Yeah, that seems really stupid.
I'm sure somebody wants it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there will be people who have fun with it, but
That
they're
one
dumb.
guy, yeah.
You know,
that
there are dozens, I tell you.
Dozens of us.
Of us. I don't know. I mean, I think that's an interesting concept. I think the thing is, it's the same thing with sort of the WoW Classic thing where you can never go home. Just you have to get over that fact as a person. Like, you can't go back to 10 years ago and listen to Disturbed while doing that raid that everybody knows in the original WoW that I don't, because I didn't really play much WoW. You can't. It's impossible.
You can't like a perfect circle as much as you did back then.
Exactly.
Like hell, I can't.
No matter their new album is not that great. I'm sorry.
It's so not great.
It's so not that great. No, but I mean, it's cool that companies are looking to provide this, but at the same time, stop. It's time to stop. Even my favorite MMO from back in the day got in on this trend. Lineage 2 released basically Lineage 2 Classic, which it's Lineage 2. So it's as much of a Korean grindfest MMO as it was back in the day, and nobody liked that it was such a grindfest, but damned my fucking nostalgia, I guess.
You know what? I don't. This isn't in the docket, but somebody announced that they were doing a TF2 Classic mod, like a full mod conversion, and that's the one for me. That's the one that I'm like, no, I want that.
I think that's out now.
Oh, hi, Deadpool.
Hi.
I don't know. I literally watched the trailer for that mod, and I think it's in like March or something.
I thought that was on the docket to discuss last week, and we just completely forgot about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we didn't do last week. It's fine.
Yeah. Moving right along, but yes, we could talk about that for a while of things you can't go home to. But something you can go home to coming out December 9th
is your PCSX emulator.
Is a PCX emulator on a custom piece of hardware. AKA the PlayStation Classic. The PlayStation Classic is a
dedicated
ARM PCSX emulator.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. Well done, everyone.
So I mean, you know, there's a lot of sides on this. I think everybody's a little bit angry for their own reasons and wrong for their own reasons.
Like the price point?
The price point's kind of silly. I agree. It's so I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to defend Sony here because there's nothing to defend. But at the same time, PCSX does they are using the GPL v2 open license for their software.
Yeah, that was my question. Is this
It's
an
open
open source? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
that was my
It's a
question.
fully open source. The licensing that they use, I have to double check. I thought it was GPL v2. I'm double checking real quick, but whatever license they do use, it only says that you have to provide attribution. You do not have to. They use GNU. They use GPL v3. GPL v3 says that you could sell the software, you can run, study, share, and modify the software for free. And derivative work can only be distributed under the same license terms.
So that means that we should be able to tinker with the PS Classic?
No.
And force it to download all of the
No.
PlayStation
So
library?
the software and the
Okay.
hardware are two separate things. They can not license the hardware.
Right. No. I mean, as far as getting more games onto it, that's
There's
not a
nothing-
hardware thing, is there?
That's a hard. Well, I mean, it can be a hardware thing. You can also make a software thing to prevent it from doing that. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that says that it says derivative work can only be distributed on the same license terms. So that means if they were to modify the code and distribute it, it would also have to be free.
Right.
So there's nothing saying that they can't. They have to do anything. It does not say they have to contribute code back. It doesn't say they have to do anything of the sort. So the software is just out there, and they can do whatever they want with it because the license allows them to do so.
But this also means that what everyone thought was the case, which was if it was proprietary, they could get away with not packing as many games as they possibly could in there. And
Correct.
now they have just arbitrarily chosen, 20 games
Yes.
to fit on something that could theoretically hold as many as they felt like.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah. No, that's. I think that's pretty much everybody's opinion on this
I
one.
mean, wasn't it
I'm
like
actually.
licensing thing or something like that, where they could only get the rights to sell some of these. Is the
Yeah,
only
I mean
thing
that's
could
going to be
think of?
some of it for sure. To be fair, some of it is definitely going to be the licensing. They would have to get the games to license, but why they couldn't get all of the games that are a bunch of the games that were available on their virtual store already is part of.
I might have an explanation for that. Sony, when they were making the PlayStation 1, was dumb. They were not a smart company at the time, and they didn't make a lot of good agreements.
I agree with you on that, but then when they got the stuff redistributed on the PS3 as PS1 classics,
All I can think of is the same reason. They've had to do it on a case by case
Yeah.
basis. That's all I can.
No,
think of.
I think that's it. That's probably the correct case. I think, realistically speaking, I don't think it's one of those things where people are going to get up in arms about this, and I don't think that there's a reason to.
That's
Yeah,
right.
just play ARMS.
What? Just play ARMS? What? Yeah,
What?
just play ARMS, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm Spring Boy.
More people. Spring
Who wants to
Man,
be
thank
Spring
you very
Girl?
much.
I actually like ARMS. I can't joke about ARMS. I actually really like that game. I wish it got a little more love from Nintendo, but it was an early Nintendo console
It
game.
got a bunch of DLC. And
Yeah, I know. It has a bunch of DLC and a bunch of patches. I can't say that it didn't get love,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'd
guess
say
it's
it got a
just-
lot of love for what it was.
I guess maybe I wish that it sort of stayed in the psyche of gamers a little bit longer. Is that a fair assessment? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Cool.
Team Fortress Classics Steam page is gone.
That's funny.
What, the original DLC?
anyways,
No,
The
the
one we were
the
talking
mod
about.
that we were talking
the one we
about.
were talking about.
Okay.
I clicked on the link
That's
that
fun.
Cali posted back, and it just takes you to the Steam main page now because it's delisted.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Maybe.
So anyways, so
yeah, that's one
so
of
I
those
think-
don't talk about it things.
So Rook, to answer the overall question the concept from your question, they probably could theoretically. This theoretically makes me think that it'll be very easy to load new ISOs onto it.
But at this point, why bother? I mean, you've got a computer that's probably more powerful than whatever hardware's in there. You
Yep.
can just download and run PCSX anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the same thing with a lot of those mini consoles. You could if you have a decent PC nowadays, you can do anything any of the mini consoles that have come out so far can do.
I mean, the reason to bother is this way: you give money to Sony directly, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm still gonna keep my pre-order just because I kind of like the look and feel and design of it, and I also am not above spending needless amounts of money on things like this. But I know that is not a popular opinion.
No,
And I mean,
a convenient way to play Intelligent Cube would be nice. Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to play Jump and Flash. I've actually never played Jump and Flash.
Same. Yeah.
So, like, there are some cool things on here that I will be excited to play legitimately. And probably it'll get hacked, and then I'll be able to put some fun games on it as well. And have
but nothing with a nothing with DualShock.
Nothing with DualShocks, unless we figure out a way to do what people were doing with the SNES Classic with the OTG cable and all that fun stuff.
See, that's the thing that I think we can all legitimately complain about. What the fuck, Sony?
I don't know. It was a fabrication cost that they didn't have to pay.
Fuck that.
I am
sense.
genuinely curious still. Like, I want to see what MGS is like without the DualShock.
Yeah,
it's awful, man.
I don't remember playing it because my first PlayStation was the DualShock version of the PlayStation.
Yeah, mine was not. I can tell you, it's a poor experience, and I don't recommend it to anybody.
Well, I'm gonna suffer through it for everybody.
All right.
I remember being blown away by Ape Escape 1 and like, oh man, I can move in not just 8 directions.
Yeah.
Well,
I can inch forward.
Really could only move in 8 directions.
Yeah, but like it's more. It was you could do it not just go or stop.
Yeah.
It was like.
It was a joystick with force feedback, or not force feedback, but incremental control.
Yeah.
Which was good. Yeah.
So let's move on. We got 2 more topics, and both are related to subscription services. So earlier we were talking about the whole EA Access Premiere. That's what that is called. So 2 stories. First of all, PlayStation Now currently takes up 52% of the market in this respect for these subscription services. Considering there's only 3 sort of players in this, there's PlayStation Now, which is taking up 52%. EA Access, which takes up, it looks about 30-something%. And then Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass, which is taking up the rear at 15%.
Holy shit.
There is $273 million in there of quarterly revenue. These are all from Super Data. But sort of Sony at the moment, which I didn't even think PlayStation Now, I didn't even know that people were paying for PlayStation Now. I always thought that was a joke. But apparently it is like significantly ahead of everybody else. EA combined, for 33% or 90 million, whereas PlayStation Now is $143 million of revenue. Pretty crazy. I was not aware that people were spending this much money on this.
And there's a major second part to the story.
Yeah, the major second. Well, I was going to get there. I just wanted some thoughts on. But I guess I'll talk about the second part, and then we can sort of talk about this in general.
I'm sure it'll make Deadpool very happy.
We did talk about this Well, the thing is, we actually have talked about this in a previous podcast because, actually, we talked about this 2 weeks ago on the podcast. Microsoft has said that Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC. I guess they reiterated it at XO18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is official. When more details to come, I guess there isn't really there hasn't been more detail essentially given, but they kind of talked a lot about it at X018 or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
The Expo.
Nice.
Experience. Yeah. Also of note, 16 games coming to that service, including PUBG,
the new
Hellblade,
Ori,
Senua's Sacrifice, new Ori of the Blind Forest, and its sequel when it launches.
Them announcing these games plus them making the first month for $1. I'm like, all right, you got me.
I actually picked it up. I actually picked it up a while ago. I bought it when I got my Xbox One X, I picked it up because it was the $1, and then they had the deal going on at the time where I think it was like $30 for 6 months of it or whatever. Like there was some sick deal going on, so I paid.
That's
I
a good
bought
deal,
it.
yeah.
I bought in because I was like, sweet, I got a bunch of games that I could play in this console that I don't currently have a library for, and if I wasn't somebody who has a giant backlog of games, it would be very useful. Meanwhile, I've probably only really played it like maybe about 10 hours total, but it's still pretty cool. Plus, I got to play fucking Forza 4 when it came out, which that was pretty cool. For Forza Horizon 4, sorry, because that just came out.
Yeah.
Although I actually really only put like 20 minutes into that. Not for lack of trying, mind you. There's just only so much time in the week. But yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think? So I mean, there's some cool stuff that can be done with these services, but it is for like I know that my opinion is going to be very jaded because I am very big on the physical collecting stuff, and I know not everybody is. What do y'all think about like these subscription services in general? Now that they've matured a lot more than they were, remember when they first came out, it was very underwhelming. But now they've sort of matured, and there's a lot more to them than there used to be.
Yeah. So people can't afford to buy anime because fucking anime costs a fuck ton of money, and then we got Crunchyroll and Funimation, and people can pay for that, and that helps fund new shows. So, yeah. Games do it too, and then that can fund new games. So if I can buy those games in a way that I don't have to pay for the subscription service, fuck yeah.
I think my only problem with PlayStation Now, which they very recently fixed, was the whole streaming of the games. You know, and they just now fixed that like a month ago or two.
Oh, does that use streaming for those?
PlayStation Now did.
PlayStation Now does. Xbox Game Pass, you download the game to your local.
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass is like a Netflix that you get the DVD, but it's instead of the DVD, you get the physical game essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Or instead of physical game, you get the physical game that you get the download.
Yeah, I know
game.
what you mean.
Yeah. So I like the way they do that service. It's the same thing with the EA versions of the service. The PlayStation Now is the only version of the service at the moment where it's actually.
So
streamed.
PlayStation Now came first.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
It was the first one to do that. It was
Because-
right after the hell was that? OnLive? It was right after OnLive came out.
OnLive was the old one that did it first.
Yeah, OnLive is dead, so that's why I say
Yeah.
PlayStation Now is the first, because OnLive doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Of course, Project Stream from Google is pretty much OnLive.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And that's kind of like Microsoft is going to build their own version, so it'll be interesting when Microsoft has two of these.
I'm
And
assuming
one of
they're going to
them-
combine them. I'm assuming they're not going to have them be
it is
separate
combined
services.
for now, is their idea, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point there's like, hey, for cheaper, you can pay for just the streaming version
Probably.
or something.
That would be kind of shitty considering, but I agree that probably will eventually happen. I mean, I think that stuff sort of sucks because it does sort of you sort of need, like, it's on one hand you don't need the better equipment, but on the other hand you totally need the better internet. And
Yeah.
the better internet's not easy to come by, whereas it's easier for me to be able to acquire equipment if I live in like a rural area.
With Sony, yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying with the streaming, with the with the streaming.
I've tried the Google streaming one on internet here. That's dog shit, and it's still fine.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
every
Every few minutes, I'll get like a little like half-second thing where like maybe the resolution will go down, but I think that's just because my VPN, and it just goes back to clear.
yeah,
but
it's they're making it where they're taking more of the pressure less off of your speed and more onto, well, what's the distance, and then maximizing that instead of just you need fuck tons of speed.
I guess the one thing for me that I don't understand how Sony can get like all this fucking money off of this shit when if you go to the like the PlayStation Now store and you scroll through like the list of games they have,
It's bad.
it's fucking old. It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's fucking old. Like these games are not current games. So much to the fact that if you go to PlayStation Now's website, they're promoting WWE 2K16,
Oh boy.
Tekken Tag 2. Fucking Evolve. Evolve is shut down like fucking 3 months ago or something like that.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, this is their front page.
right.
I'm gonna take a screenshot.
There's all I can think of is that might be using the sane person to me says they're using the wrong name there, and what they mean is the PlayStation Plus service that gives out free games. Otherwise,
No, they definitely say
I-
PlayStation Now in this article. And if you look
I
at the Super
called-
Data thing, it definitely says PlayStation
what's
Now.
that article? Who wrote that?
It's on VG 24/7, but it's
I'm saying
but-
that's possibly bullshit. That
but it's
part of
taken
it.
from Super Data.
I
who
think
is-
that's possibly bullshit.
Who's a
think-
major like
Super
company
Data's-
sells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Super Data sort of replaced. They're the Nielsen company. They sort of replaced. Fucking what's it called?
Yeah, I think that somebody there
uh,
might have made a fucking error. That's
I-
what I'm gonna put that as they meant. Because
I don't
no
know.
no one at that number is using.
I'm not gonna pay
these
$2,000 for the full report because they want $2,000 for the report. But they definitely are saying game subscriptions, not like Xbox Live type subscriptions.
Hey, Brennan.
So
As long as we're talking about graphics that need to be updated,
Mm,
can we talk about how
can we fix
they were
can we
showing
fix
off
the
the Good Life?
tune up the graphics on level 3?
They were showing off the Good Life as one of the new Game Pass games during the Xbox conference, and they were using the box art for some other fucking game called The Good Life, which was, I guess, about boats and resorts.
Nice.
And I'm just like, how do you fuck up that bad?
Interns.
Yeah, probably just said, "Hey, grab me an image," and they grabbed an image.
They didn't
Yeah,
fuck up any of the other ones.
Well,
Maybe there aren't other games with the exact same name as them.
And this is
Yeah.
also the same company that still owns D4. You know, it's like, come on.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh, another quick thing. Another part of that report,
Yes.
and which is, I guess, further reinforcement for people doing this. Apparently, people who carry like subscriptions, be it Xbox Live or PSN Plus or whatever, just straight up spend more money per month on their system. So they're even more incentivized just to straight up keep charging. The more people that pay for the service, the more money they'll make.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense though. As you add value to it, people tend to gravitate towards it, or
except for the Sony one, which hasn't added value in months.
Yeah, I don't know.
not
I don't know
years.
what's up with the Sony one. The Sony one confuses me. Maybe they had like a deal going at some point, and it was really cheap.
Maybe
Oh,
they're
you mean,
counting like
past years of subscriptions to it. Yeah, that
Maybe.
makes more sense.
I don't know. There's a lot to that.
maybe
but
they're
yeah, I
also
guess-
counting like PlayStation View, which is a sort of a major subscription system for them. Like a lot of people get their TV through that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if they included View in that would be that
More
would be bad,
understandable.
too. But I don't know. I don't think they are just because of like how it's being said in there. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that it is now time for Cali to give us his Pokemon Go minute.
Oh,
Mm,
hi.
hi, we're here.
Oh,
now.
they don't have one? Okay, cool.
Bye.
Timer.
Saturday was shiny Cyndaquil day, and I caught a bunch of Cyndaquil. I went down to the shopping center called the Quarry, and there were a lot of people there. There were a lot of people catching Pokemon, and like the GameStop there was handing out like promotional material for Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. Like there were people walking around with these Eevee and Pikachu hats. It was
Neat.
and little balloons. It was kind of surreal. Like usually when I go out to do Pokemon, I go like on days like that. I go to this big park in the middle of town, and that has a lot of gyms, and I just go there, and it's a neat sight. But I went to this giant shopping center, and there were just a ton of people just walking around this crowded shopping center, like with cars everywhere, just walking. It was weird. It's like depending on where you go, there are still so many people playing this game, more than you think. Anyway, I got 5 shiny tentacles, so.
No, good for you. Kathy got
Does
2,
anyone-
I think. I think Kathy got 2. I finally got my Umbreon, so I finally got to that part of the next part of the quest.
Oh,
the
sweet.
Wizard Willow quest. So I'm pretty excited about that, because now all you gotta do is do all the other things. And also now I have Mew walking around instead of fucking Eevee, so I can start getting some Mew candies, because I got that fucking 93 IV Mew, so I want to get it to, like, I think its max CP is going to be somewhere in the 2500 range.
Yeah, mine's almost maxed out, and it's like 28. Hold on.
Yeah, I need.
Yeah, mine's
much more
2963.
So yeah, pretty excited about that. So yeah, Pokemon Go's cool. I'm excited for Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu because I want to see what they do with the integration, how well it works, and
Yeah, I'm also curious. I will trade with a friend and see how that works. Cause
Did you guys get pre-orders for that, or is that just me?
I
Cool.
pre-ordered both the Eevee and the Pikachu version with the Pokeball.
Jesus. I
Well,
didn't
because the
pre-order
Pokeball, this was pre them releasing Adventure Mode, so I thought that it would be a better way to do the Adventure Mode stuff
Yeah.
because they were
The
alluding to
Pokeball
it
has
being
the better stop catching than anything else. So
yeah. So that was part of it. It was also like I thought it was a really cool little thing, and I was also always going to get both versions because I figured Kathy probably wanted to play. So yeah. All right. Well, if there is nothing further on the docket, is there?
There's weekly segment stuff.
Yeah, I think at that point, I think we're gonna call it here because I think we've got almost 2 hours. So, I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight and everybody who was here. That includes Cali, HGB, Rook, and I guess a special guest appearance by Deadpool at some point.
Hello, Deadpool.
Swooshing right in.
Yeah.
Swooshing
Claim all
right
the
in.
glory and get out.
Yeah, that's what happens. But on that note, I want to thank you all for watching and check us out next week where we continue to bicker about video games as we do.
And apologies
for now,
for the I blame Discord.
yeah, I blame Discord too. Everybody blame Discord. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you all next week. Have a good week.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we out? Oh, wait.
Are we?
At the...
Did you
Yes,
stop
you.
Look, I'm not used to this. All right, now it's a time where we talk about like the community.
TV, goddammit.
Okay, fine.
Hit the stop stream.
They can't know.
Our least favorite community member,
All right.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah.